Come on, man. What we gonna see? We're gonna see.
You are. I can't lie. When it comes to freestyling, you are that guy.
Thank you, bro.
That guy.
Means a lot coming from you, man.
Alright, so you jump shooting?
Let's get it. Yeah.
All right, so you just saw the behind the scenes of Fire in the Booth. That was my view. Only got a little bit of the intro, and then I put the phone away and was just locked into the moment, man, because I had to see what the man was going to cook up live right outside the studio. And that's what we're talking about today, man. Fire in the Booth, Harry Mack in London. We were there, and it was the day after the the Dublin show, as he rapped about in his story time and whatever. And I just wanted to give y'all a quick story time about it. You know, the lead up conversations that were had that are relevant to things that he rapped about. Some of the different ways he went about the beats, or how he went about his bars and flows and whatever. And also the beats, which were a subset of a bunch of beats that your boy sent the Fire in the Booth squad, which, you know, they're all Harry Mack beats, obviously, but there are hundreds of beats that Harry Mack has rapped on. So yeah, all of that we're gonna talk about. So let's get it started, right? I think it makes sense to talk about an Uber ride from the Dublin hotel to the airport. Some Uber ride before the flight to London. And I think that's what it was, where me and Harry were talking about, who else was there? Was it Mikey or Jazz? Anyway, we were talking about just different freestyle platforms, what is done on different platforms, off top versus written, people doing their actual songs, or people actually, you know, taking words and doing items, and which platform uses or represents which style, and all these things we were talking about. And the conversation led to what makes one of those dope, like what makes a freestyle, whether written or off top, on one of these radio shows dope, right? And we were just breaking it down. It's like, all right, if you got bars, if you got standout bars, people are noticing, you know, think like Lil Dicky, the outrageous bars that he has. Flow, Lil Dicky also has crazy flow. And I don't know why Lil Dicky's freestyle is on my mind right now. I did see a clip of it on Instagram a couple hours ago. Maybe that's why. But there's a lot. Or just the delivery and the denseness of the message. Think like King Los or like Black Thought on Funk Flex, right? And whether it's clearly off top, say Juice World, right, on Fire in the Booth and anywhere else he goes on, or it's written, you know, like Lil Dicky, or kind of a blend, you know, because if you're talking about Black Thought's Funk Flex freestyle, did he write an 11-minute verse, or are those all verses that he kind of had in his mind that he kind of not cycled through, but like kind of stitched together in real time? Like, I don't know. King Lo, sometimes it's clearly off top. Sometimes it might seem written. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's written, right? So we're just having that discussion, the off top versus written discussion. What makes it dope? We got to bars, of course. We got to just the delivery, right? The vocals, the energy. You can carry just on energy alone with minimal bars, a solid flow. But if you're animated and energetic and get the people around involved and get people smiling and reacting, like delivery is crucial. Because if you don't have delivery at all, then none of the other things matter sometimes. You know, you could have the craziest bars, crazy flows, but if you're just kind of like monotone in a way that's not intentional to the style, but more so from a sense of like you're not projecting, the other stuff can fall flat. So anyway, delivery, flow, crazy flows can grab attention. And yeah, I mean, those are basically it, right? And storytelling is the fourth one. So you can have crazy delivery and crazy flow, and you can storytell. You can storytell without bars. You can have bars without stories. You can have bars and stories. You can have all four, right? And we were just kind of breaking it down, like what goes into this. And he obviously wants to give the best performance he possibly can, and he's obviously going to go off top. So how does he bring that off top skill set and put together a masterpiece like he did right here, right? So it's just really cool to see this performance, or it was really cool to watch this performance and him kind of taking different approaches and styles for like all of it, right? Because making it clearly show that it's off top is like a subset, like a fifth little small pointer, right? Because you can have all the others written or off top, right? But when it's clear that it's off top, like for example, the items or the words, or him shooting the basketball, or the box with the hair dye, that adds on to that, like to all the other four things kind of get a little bit elevated because like, oh damn, this is off top, right? So Harry always has that factor. Now, how do you bring all the other four things in, right? Flow, delivery, kind of throughout the whole fucking thing, but flow was really highlighted in the last UK drill one, and also some of the crazy flows and deliveries in the boom bap segment. The second beat, I think, or the third beat, was just insane. And then the storytelling, the fifth freestyle here, just straight storytelling, right, about the UK and how we got there, did the show in London, or about to do the show in London, because this was 2 days before the show in London, and how we just flew in from Dublin literally that day, which is true. We had the Dublin show the night before. We flew that morning to London, hour and a half drive to the hotel, Uber from Heathrow. And then he had to do something personal real quick. So he Uber immediately from where he was, Uber to Fire in the Booth. My end, I Ubered to the hotel. We still haven't sent a collection of beats that Harry likes to rap on. And, we have it all organized and whatever. So I was just like, God damn, all right. I was just clicking through beats that Harry's used, and that, I think would be fucking sick, right? So I was like, we got to get a couple of the UK drill beats that we have from pulling them for Odyssey London back in 2023, right? And then, so I got to choose a couple of those. Need some hard boom bap. Need one like epic boom bap, right? Which he started it out. I don't know who chose the beats from the full set that they had received, because we were like, if it goes an hour, it goes an hour, right? So we were prepared, which is funny because when Harry says, I'm just getting started, bro, like he actually like means it. Like he was definitely prepared to go for as long as Charlie wanted to go. I think 25. I think it was the perfect amount of time, because it's like it's long enough to show how fucking epic it is, and it's not overkill as well, and it ties up into a nice story, and it didn't feel repetitive at all, right? There was different moments, ins and outs of a lot of different things. So yeah, and then also some like bouncy, like fun trap type beats, right? So it was a good mixture of all of them. And I think they sourced it perfectly, right? From the larger set I sent, they put together such a great flow. It's the whole thing plays like a EP, like a freestyle EP. So that was sick to have a small part to play in that is really cool on my end. And then so I did that. Then me, Mikey, and Sam Uber to Apple Studios in London for this. And we pull up, not too much. It's like before he walks in the booth, right? Just a little, hey, how you doing? What's up? Kind of saw what's around, and then he was like, all right, you ready? They're like, yeah, we're ready. Went in there, barely a sound check, just pulled up from the Uber, from the airport, from the flight after the show he just did in Dublin, right? And that is like 3 days before we're flying in from Philly. So, dealing with jet lag and this and that, he rapped about all of that in here. And just comes up with this performance is always amazing. It's always amazing the level at which he delivers, even in moments of fatigue or of just a lot going on, or just like, one that comes up to mind is the Beardy Man first collab 3 years ago, back in 2022. First time we were in London. The Beardy Man collab, I forgot what it's called on Harry's channel. But the one where Lean also ciphered with him, and we were in like this bar area. We were on like 3 hours of sleep as a squad. Harry had been flying like 3 or 4 days in a row with like performances in between. We did Gorilla Bars in London. He did this corporate thing in Finland in between, where we had 1 day off, where we're like, oh, thank God we have this day off to just chill. He did this quick little stop by in Finland, and he came through and did a 2-hour set with Beardy Man, with so many dope clips and moments. And this is a little bit, less extreme than that in terms of just a pure tax on the body perspective. But still, under normal circumstances, like, he's not like chilling, prepping for it or looking forward to it, like in the same spot and like getting ready or whatever. He's actively touring, live show after live show after live show. Only 2 days to get acclimated to jet lag. Dublin show, fly over that night, fire in the booth. 2 days later, London show, 3,000 people. And then it was just a crazy run, just flight show, like for 5 shows in a row until we dipped to Boston and then did the last leg of the tour. So just like the physical energy management, all that comes into play in my mind because, it's part of what I need to be cognizant of for myself as well. But that part of it, I think, is underrated in Harry's ability and stamina and all that. So what else can I say, really? I mean, I felt that that's my unique perspective on this freestyle and on the whole Fire in the Booth journey. So many people are breaking down the bars and the freestyles and whatnot. So I'm not going to go into that. Like, I'm not going to watch this 24-minute video with y'all because I just gave y'all a 14-minute story time situation. And I know y'all have all listened to it itself like maybe twice or 3 times and then seen it on socials and then watched other reactors talk about it, break it down. But I've also watched some reactors react to it, and I just wanted to highlight a couple things that I haven't heard people kind of mention yet, and maybe some others have, so forgive me if I haven't seen every single reaction to this. But the MACK, music, art, creativity, knowledge, which he follows up, the acronym, which he follows up with the Harry always, or hard always, rare raps, right? Oh yes. And then the oh yes was the Y. So he spelled out his own name, right? So Harry, that one he hasn't done. The music, art, creativity, and knowledge, OG Mack fans, or not, maybe not OG, but just like close Mack fans, know that that's an acronym that he has kind of thrown in there in different freestyles. But pulling it out in a moment like this is huge. And all the flows and deliveries are unique. Like, I don't want to take away from the fact that it's impressive. I'm just letting y'all know that the Harry one was in the moment new, in my view. And then the Mack was one that he has kind of done before. It's also super clean in his delivery for that one. And the Harry one was a little bit more him figuring it out. So there's that. I want to point out the Harry acronym one. I want to point out the whole Cassius, Clay, to Plato, to philosophize scheme, right? That was insane. Because Cassius Clay is Muhammad Ali. He's the great like Cassius Clay, but then he flips Clay into Plato, which is like you mold, Plato, but Plato is also a philosopher, right? So he molds minds, but also Cassius Clay molds minds by denting their brain, by punching them, right? So like that whole scheme was insane. And then I think those were the two moments that I specifically wanted to point out that I haven't seen people kind of break down in the way that I saw it. And other than that, man, I might be missing some stuff, but he had everything. He had the storytelling, he had the delivery flow game on point, he had the bars, he had the off top, he had the reading of the box, and then he throws in that crazy bar. This is the only time that Harry's dying, and it's just a beauty to watch, man. So appreciate y'all coming through, and let me know if y'all are disappointed that I didn't go through the whole freestyle and watch it down with y'all, but I just wanted to give my unique perspective and felt doing all of it in one would have been a bit overkill. So that's what your boy got for y'all today. It's iKaanic, and catch y'all next time. Peace.